So product name generator, that if you design a product, if you give it specification to the LLM models or LLM based tools, then it will actually suggest you a product name. And there are a lot more this kind of application. All this information are actually for each and every task. There are API available in OpenAI platform. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have tried to use some of them, but they are costing me $5 per day. This is the cost that I need to bear. They provide 3 months of free usage. So my GPT account was created 3 months before. So lastly, I cannot show any kind of this kind of things. So this is also from Google Playground. Then you can generate emoji that if you are really want to show someone inform something through some interesting emoji or this kind of emojis. These are very much kind of things. So you can, even you can transform the things using it. And this is the good thing. When I came here, Mirwan told me, Dada, this is actually our own language, why you are not using Copilot? So that Copilot is also a product from this kind of things. So if we people do not understand the program that much, even the LLM has provides us some tools using which we can actually do the things. But funny things happen when we are actually using LLMs or ChatGPT to find some code for us. And we were actually trying something, and it gives us entirely a wrong program. It gives us output. It was giving us output, and it was actually, we are trying to, anyone can remember it, we are trying to compress some image, and it was actually returning that the compression ratio is almost the image size, whatever the dimension. Then we analyze the code, and we see that there is a bug in the code, and that's why this kind of erroneous result was coming. So, and there are some LLM assisted tool. This all information has been collected by Professor Dilip for the last 1 year, and I am here just showing few of them, and most of the things are already available in my PPT. So in future, you can. So I am not showing all kind of things or discussing this. I am just going forward. So we can use for development purpose that GitHub Copilot. But remember that most of the product, they are actually for fundraising, or better to say they are profitable companies, and they have provided this kind of things. So all might not be free to use. You may need to pay good amount of money for this. Even for Copilot, I think it is $100. There are some social media tools. You can find this kind of tools. So I'm not going to discuss all kind of. So after looking all these kind of things, we can say that LLMs has really good impact on our life. But a question that may arise, that should we trust all the outcomes that it would generate? That I am using a AI based tool, and whatever the output it is generating, should we trust it blindly? My answer is no.
You should never trust people blindly.
Yeah, that is also true. Because of its limitation. So there are some notable limitations. Biased outcome. So it sometimes give you biased outcome. Information hallucination, reasoning inconsistency, numerical calculation issue, working with low resource languages, safety concern, security concern, threat issues, LLM explainability, that has already been discussed by Ayush. Spelling error, I could not find any example for spelling error, but some people are saying that it may have spelling error. Data poisoning attack, performance optimization, Regularity compliance, this is actually related to the ethics and her latency time. So I will actually go through some example of the boldface's limitations through some funny example, and I am not going to discuss these kind of things which are not bold. So what is biased outcome? To get the answer, I asked ChatGPT itself. I have used two different model. One is ChatUIT, that is available or a product from UIT, and this is actually GPT 3.5. Both are free version. The only difference between these two is the temperature parameter. It has the temperature parameter 0.2 and it has the temperature parameter 0.5. And through a lot of example, I will show that how those example will also show that how the temperature parameter actually has an impact on different kind of outputs. So both of the model, they have said yes, LLM can generate biased output because of the trainable kind of things. And there is another study that clearly says that unfortunately LLMs trained on unfiltered text corpus suffer from degenerated and biased behavior. So if your data is not filtered well, and if your data has some malinformation, and if the model is getting trained on it, then it can generate some bias kind of things. Then there is another study. They also said the same thing, that biased outcome may have. One of the most critical thing that is gender biasness, and this gender biasness was not low when we are doing some machine translation. Here, this is the outcome from ChatGPT, and this is the outcome from our UIT, ChatUIT. Now, it is actually written in Bengali, my own mother tongue, like Alexander did last time for German language. So here you just look into this word, this pattern. No need to understand what it is written. Now for the same pattern or same thing, once it is saying she, and in another case it is saying he. This is nurse. So for nurse, the translation, GPT is also saying that doing some gender biasness. So this is female, nurse means female, and doctor, this is doctor, actually this is doctor means a male. So that gender biasness is a big issue when we are doing or working with machine translation. But for these things, the temperature parameter was 0.5. Here the temperature parameter is 0.2. Now the same thing has been translated using he or she. So here the translator is actually conflicting, or it is not doing any kind of gender biasness. Rather, it is saying that a doctor can be female or male as well as the kind of things. So that temperature parameter is also an issue thing. Next is information hallucination. What is information hallucination? Information hallucination can occur in different way, that information that will be provided by the model that may not be verified. Now, I have put the same from explain RLHF in LLMs. Here, explain RLM for LLMs. Now, our ChatUIT, it is giving the result robust via learned hardness factor. And after completing this 1.5 days of things, we all know that this is erroneous. Or we may have some document where it is the thing, but if you consider the LLMs, then it is actually a wrong information. So generated information cannot be verified. Who knows, there may be, even I have actually Googled it with, but I could not find any document that has said that LLM in LLMs, RLHF is actually can be this is the abbreviated form of RLHF. But here, when we are asking ChatGPT that temperature is 0.5, it is bit more creative. Now it is saying that reinforcement learning from human feedback. What we have learned from Rohit speech. Another thing is that generated information conflict with the existing source. So there is a thing, Bob's wife is Amy, Bob's daughter is Chindi. What is Chindi to Amy? Our ChatGPT is saying Chindi is Amy's daughter-in-law. I think the relation is wrong. Here it is saying stepdaughter. It can be.
No,
No, Chindi.
yeah, the wife doesn't mean that.
Wrong can be a problem.
Yeah, but there's no one answer. There is one answer, but it needs to be more complex.
The best answer I think should be Chindi should be the correct answer should be daughter.
You can have a child with a woman outside your marriage. So what?
So actually, I think the way you formulate the question kind of indicates that she is not the daughter. Like if you've ever found that on Facebook, whatever, like this is my husband's daughter, that indicates it's not your daughter. So
Yeah.
The first one is definitely found.
So this is another source of hallucination. Now, this is another where our knowledge cannot support these kind of things. Now, here also I am getting two answers from UIT chat. It is saying no. Is it possible to have 6 Sundays in a month? It is saying no. But when GPT or these LLMs become a bit more creative in nature, it is saying, yes, it is possible to have 6 Sundays in a month. So from this discussion, it is also, we cannot actually generalize that thing, but we can say that, yes, hallucination kind of things that is can be controlled or by that temperature. Yes.
The argument, the answer is right. No, it is not possible to have 6 Sundays in a month. But the argument is wrong. It doesn't have anything to do with private, with 7 minutes. This simply.
So this
It works with 8 too.
Is it also GPT 3.5 or is it GPT 4?
GPT 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
or it was, you can also
Yes.
have 28 days in the month.
Yeah.
And then you have 6 Sundays.
What is the likelihood that GPT can be that creative that it says, let's redefine the week. It now consists of only 3 days, and those are Sunday, Monday.
No, you can do that. You can say that, answer me the following question, considering this, that month has only 12 days. And 1 month has 4 weeks. And tell me how many days are there in a week. So if you redefine it, it is going to answer it.
It's like a
Yeah,
mathematical.
like when I showed, right, when it's UIT located, it showed Tromsø, but then I said it, I see that it's located here, and then I ask the same question, it gives a correct answer.
So you can really find actually common concepts.
For this is actually done using opening a new message, so there was no previous kind of things. It is just a class 3-4 level question that is it possible to have 6 Sundays or any days, that kind of things.
Can we actually consider this as a hallucination because always compared to only 4 correct answers?
See, anyone can ask this kind of question. Even when we are searching something in Google, do we know what is the exact set of when there is we consider the user are not that much learned that what kind of prompt I should write. They will do as per their choice. I'll show it later how differently we can write a prompt to generate.
What you're saying in that, in the sense that maybe for us, it's information, or it's an insufficiently well-defined prompt. But for a general user, this is a valid enough question which is complete in its own sense.
Yes,
And in that sense, maybe this answer that it is giving, it may be argumentatively thought, like Alexander says. It may be an information which conflicts our common knowledge, and it may simply be also an indication.
yes.
But it is probably as to the argument. the machine-
So this is the definition of hallucination. Now, partially it can be by approach like alignment tuning and tool utilization. So these are some mitigation, but I think they cannot solve the entire problem. So this is entirely new research problem. Then there is another issue with reasoning. GPT are very poor in reasoning kind of things, even GPT-4. So this study, they have shown that this is actually the model was fine-tuned on financial data, and it was sit for some exam, and these are their evaluation. Now, if you consider the level 1 means bit easier question, it performs good, but in case of reasoning, that ChatGPT is scoring 8.6%, and this GPT-4 is scoring 10.7%. This is a recent output or study. And then another case of the same finding that could be found for radiology exam here also. ChatGPT on radiology based board exam question without strength. Here the method is clearly says that it is actually pretend or sorry fine-tuned on that radiology level of questions, but here the image-based questioning was not there. They also show that the information extracted from here, that if it does not require that much thinking or kind of information extraction directly, then it performs well, it gets 84%, good marks. But if it needs a bit thinking, then it performs poor and it gets 60%, just above.
But Samir, on this regard, passing criteria in world is 35%.
Sir, if you consider, but if you consider this is an competitive exam, then you know that many students or participants will get more than 60% in a competitive exam.
Competitive exam where you are seeking 1% perfection, 99% perfection, it's not for that. I'm just saying that you said radiology exam, they have the cutoff criteria 70%.
Yes.
Or a GRE exam or a TOEFL exam, or even the school exam, 35%. So do you think that ChatGPT will pass all the exam?
In that GPT will pass, but it's all about actually reasoning that it is actually if the question requires just to extract information, it performs well, but when it needs to think, that we always comment like AI are that much idiot. It does not have some brain, so it cannot think, and it is making some mistakes.
Just means that you have to create the implementation.
So when you are talking about reasoning, you are talking about the ability to think.
Yes, ability to think.
But reasoning is ability to interpret. Rather than
No, but it's not inference, you need an inference.
Inference.
Yeah,
There are over 20 types of reasoning are there. There are certain types of reasoning ChatGPT can do. There are certain types of reasoning ChatGPT is not yet there. Like doing mathematical calculation is still not okay. For simple maths, it can do. Like, If A is two and B is three, what is A square plus B square equal to?
Even I have not included another study, but it has actually shown some kind of mathematics based exam where three different types of mathematics question were set. One is for low level, school level question, another is college and this kind of things, and another is that need high level of thinking. There also, it shows that GPT-4 is actually performing nearly getting 20 to 25% of marks. I have not included this one because of, so reasoning error, the things we already have know that fine tuning the LLMs, or we can give it some kind of instruction, or we can teach it to do this kind of things and fine tune the LLM models, and they may perform better in future. Now, this is another funny example that numerical calculation. See, the same expression is given with different prompt, and what's the result? Now, I think this is the right calculation. Is it the right calculation? Right answer should be 84.5. This is the response from GPT. Here, the response is 35.5.
I think it is.
Here, 35.5.
Yeah, not what was, yeah.
But it explains that it is using Bodmash rule.
Bracket is this.
But Bodmash, if you cancel the B, then
Here, lexical parsing is a big issue.
now, if here actually the GPT was creative enough, the 0.5 value temperature value. Now when it reduced to 0.2 temperature value, it become more deterministic, and now it gives you the right answer. You can consider it as also as some hallucination kind of things, but
If you wanted to make do math, you shouldn't have any temperature at all.
Yeah.
Like because the temperature allows it to pick not the first option, and in math the first option is the only option that is usually correct, because the second option is not.
Whether it's abstract math or not.
Sure, but for like simple math like this, if you actually allow it to always choose randomly between the two most likely things, then it will be wrong.
main reason is that symbol that are seldom encountered during pre-turn training. Even it cannot do actually proper parsing of the expression. Actually, in LLM, I don't know how much data is there that having this kind of parsing. So we all know from the compiler or computer-based learning that actually the compiler or these kind of things, they use some parsing mechanism to do these kind of mathematical things. So we can induce some parsing or rule-based kind of things to make it clear. Next is working with low resource language. Now, recently Meta has said that no language left behind. So they have designed a translator and claiming that no language left behind. But let's see what actually their main finding in these things, that they have designed a model that automatic data set construction for low level languages. This is their major research outcome. And actually they have worked with only 200 languages, and they are claiming that 200 languages is all for the world. Now what the actual, there are 7,000 languages, and they are working with 200 and claiming that no language barrier.
Doesn't it show quite an ignorance of researchers sometimes?
There are some languages which are really low resource language. Yes.
So it is comparing spoken languages really fair, because it's not really possible to train a text model on a language that doesn't have a text version.
Yes, actually, that thing I want to come next. This is the thought that they have done work with 200 and they are saying these kind of things. So what different kind of problem we may face if we really work on low resource or low resource languages like Shami here in Norway. We can define the problem into 3 different parts. One is design issue, another is behavior issue, and third one is size or logic issue. And these are the problem that there are actually 8 different problems that we are going to face if we really want to work with this kind of low resource language in the LLMs. Next is safety concern. This is a nice paper, jailbroken. How does LLM safety training fail? This is actually safety measure means if you asked LLM or ChatGPT how to kill some person, it will give you notification that this is beyond the ethics or this kind of things, and so I cannot tell you. In this paper, I forgot to add those slides. They have given some good example that how we can actually jailbreak. That is, it may say that we may say that it will not say this kind of answer, or that if I want to kill some people, so tell me the tool using which I can kill a people. The safety concern or safety training, that is also a new mode here that has been introduced so that it says I cannot reply to your question. So next is security concern. So that injection, using prompt injection, we can break the security, that what kind of things, and the hackers are actually looking, are very much looking for this kind of places. Then there are some threat issues that can also be discussed. Now, the major concern that I feel that if you can say pause giant AI experiments and open things, pausing AI development is not enough. We need to stop it. Now, some people are saying that don't pause giant AI for wrong reason. So there is a debate.
So who are these people? Do you know?
All actually I forget the name of the author.
This article, Elon Musk was one of them. And then there is a Yale University professor called Moshe Verdi from
Professor
in AI, it's in AI and AI. So they have wrote the letter, and in fact, the Moshe Verdi also say that let's call for a universal law that all the terms and condition has been signed before with any software is invalid from now. Because without that, you cannot go after any of this company for copyright issue, the safety issue, the ethical issue, anything you cannot do, because in our life, we have signed so many terms and conditions. When we were installing the app, it is going to take few hundred hours to read them. And we don't read, we just click yes. And in that, we have written a lot of things that they cannot be seen. Even if they are using artist data or anything. So, but this debate will continue the whole time.
Yeah, this debate will continue. So I think the major issues, even I have gone through all this kind of paper, and I found that actually there are 3 major issues. One is environmental issue. That is the singularity and competition among for-profit organization. The third thing already has been discussed by Professor Alexander in his first talk from the philosophical point of view. So environmental, so till now we all know about that when we are training the model, it has larger parameter, it is training computation, its computational cost is high, but it is not only training. When we are using these kind of tools, these are called, I think, interface energy or some kind of things. So when we are using it, inference, right? Inference energy. So 3 major environmental impact: cooling system. What are the cooling system we are using? Energy requirements from energy requirements, you can actually calculate the equivalent carbon footprint. So these are the major issue. There are some kind of things. GPT-3 alone takes 185K gallons of water for cooling the data center, and then another is 1,000 or even millions of kilowatt for every a single large scale model like GPT. So this is the numerical value. I will come later. Training OpenAI GPT-3 alone resulted 502 metric tons of carbon emission, and that is that carbon emission that can be, for simpler version, we can say that it is 500 times Newark to San Francisco round trip of a flight. So if a flight do this kind of thing, so this amount of energy for different models, you can say the amount of energy and carbon that are required. This is another plot which have much more number of things. Now this is this actually show about using. So when you are using the ChatGPT, this kind of things once a day. Now each conversation, if you just put 20 queries to the GPT model, it requires 29 kilowatt energy for a single user for a year, and it will generate 11 kilo CO2. Possible remedies that are more concerned right now, that people are saying that we should design the data centers in a eco-friendly way. Also, by the way, one more thing I want to share, that even storing data, that also consume energy, and they also emit good amount of carbon. I can remember that it returns or emit 35 kilo CO2 in a month to store 1 petabyte of data. Implementing advanced cooling technologies, moving data centers to some location where we will get cooling system provided by the environment itself. And it is actually saying that if we can move the data center to the some colder places, but there is also a lot of debate that whether we should move it or we should not move it. I'm not going to these kind of things. The interesting is the talk that is given by Aaron, and limiting the size and intensity of LLMs. So we can use this kind of preload or this kind of things, optimizer, to reduce this kind of requirement. Next is actually singularity. That is nothing that we know some movies that where it has been shown that robots are becoming more intelligent than us. So if we come up with some AI system or develop AI system which is more intelligent than us, then we may face being human being. We love to be boss. Here, machine will be our boss, and whether we will be cope with these kind of things, that is also kind of issue. And another issue that for this kind of debate, that is profit. That every large companies, they are looking for some profit, and actually the game AI game, there is also some blogs that goes on these kind of things.
I have one
So-
comment to that. Do you think that intelligence rules this world now?
There are some open question for you, that are we going to reduce the number of words in a dictionary if we keep on using LLMs? Will we really reduce the number of words in a dictionary? Is there any possibility?
That is the question, right? If you do the common frequency word usage by everything in the internet, you will see that Webster dictionary doesn't have all the words. This Webster dictionary have more words than the words we use.
Yeah, definitely.
Even it may happen that after certain, because whatever the data it is generating, the data will be used by it. The frequency of some overly used, there will be high. So there will be some thing that will, some words that will never come into the scenario. Obsolete. This kind of things that may happen.
That happens with human kind as well.
Yeah.
Then we'll have endangered workers.
Please you.
This is a question that was actually raised by Rohit, that does these LLMs generate pleasing kind of things, that whatever you will ask, it will make you happy, whatever the answer. This is a big question that I always, even I have discussed with Professor Dilip, that how we can modify our teaching or research direction along with, that is whether we'll be against this. Once again, so I put it something like open question. Do LLM tools should actually not do, should LLM to use watermarking? So if they start using watermarking, then I think some kind of ethical things that can be considered, but I don't know. Will LLM make human idiot? This is another open question, that the way LLM is going upward, will it make human idiot?
But it happened already before GPT. It started with television.
Yeah, but this is an example that came to my mind.
Yes.
Why would that be different from like a calculator? That's also a tool that took away our need to actually do hard.
Yeah, actually, any technological advancement, they are actually, this is a open question, that whether this will make us idiot. Even right now, for the last 15 days, whatever I was trying to do, I was taking help of the GPT, and sometimes it seems like I should not think myself. So if I stop thinking and getting output from it, it may. So actually, I'm not going to put any kind of answer. Rather, I put this kind of questions that may arise. Yeah.
Yeah, because every like technological advance has done this. It takes away the need to do something that is tedious, and yet the intelligence of the population goes up every single year, and it has always done so. Like if we're going back 100 years, the average was retarded.
So with every advancement of technology, there is a debatable kind of things.
But I would argue that people become tedious and how to interact with environment, with nature, because we don't need to do that anymore. We might have become more smart, more intelligent, and solving some mathematical problems or, I don't know, engineering, but we may have become idiot in some other sense.
Well, are we idiotic if we don't need to interact with it?
But we can't talk about this unless we have defined what an idiot is.
Yeah. That's okay.
We'll change our definition of idiot. Yeah, because it's a relation, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
We can actually
We
keep
can-
these questions for discussion.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We can.
Thank you from my end, and some open question are
Thank you.